STEM Teachers NYC Climate Series, and the focus is on using data for students to do a deeper dive into the issue of climate change. I teach a senior elective in atmospheric science, so we always come at issues from a data-driven perspective. So one of the platforms that we use is called Climate Interactive. It's produced by NOAA. And what I really like about it is you can look at the potential impact of climate change in one city, or you can do a comparison. When I have my students do it, they do a southern US city and a northern US city to see if there's a significant difference between, for example, maximum temperature, minimum temperature, precipitation. And what's really interesting about it is that it gives you information for the low emission scenario and the high emission scenario. So they can start to develop their own research questions and then start to build use of data to resolve those and respond to those research questions. They're always surprised when the data shows, for example, that location they thought would get a lot wetter turns out to actually get a lot drier than they expected. And then that leads to conversation about why that happens. So that's going to be the introduction to the workshop. Is how do you teach climate change? What topics do you cover? What do you find some of the challenges are? And then we're going to do 4 activities. The first one's using Climate Interactive. And then there's an offshoot of that, which I find really interesting, is it links, one of the reports that you can produce links to a website called Neighborhoods at Risk. And then you can do, for example, if you pick Los Angeles as your city that you want to study, you can look and see which census tracts in the city are more significantly impacted by potential climate change than others. And then you can, again, it's another opportunity for a student voice and choice and exploring things that they're interested in. You can, for example, ask the question, okay, which neighborhoods where the population has very low access to healthcare are greatly impacted by the low emission and the high emission scenario, so that they can get really a deeper understanding of the social impact of climate change as well. It's really fascinating. I found it quite by accident this year. And it's one thing that my students really related to, and it generated a lot of conversation. It's like, one, this is a really cool way to learn a challenging topic. And it's a really cool way to bring data into your classroom. And it's a cool way for students to explore really challenging topics, but really get to design their own research along the way.